So coming in Monday pre-market today, you already could kind of tell the difference in terms of sentiment. It's not like last week where every single day we had maybe 5 or 6 gappers and a lot of them were low float. This morning things were definitely a little bit slower and a little bit more muted. We had 2 stocks that's really in play in terms of the gap scanner, SINT and EVOK. And there were a couple of other stocks that broke up later on, but pre-market they were not on the scan. So to me, today was just a bunch of base hits, and man, you really had to work pretty hard for even 50 cents. Let's just say that. So SINT was the first stock I started playing pre-market. This is a stock that's known to gap up and sell off almost for the entire day. Just the last few times we played it, you can look at this, look at this charts, right? Pretty much a lot of bag holders right near this area, 320s, $3 basically. And when we're gapping up to that resistance area, that's why I'm leaning short biased. So started some small shorts, but really I wanted to push towards $3, and that's why I got it. Started going in bigger shorts here, built a full size, nice position with about 290s average. Covered a small piece into the flush 260s and re-added back the cover after we're staying heavy and breaking down. And you can see once we broke down this 246 level, it just never came back. So turned out to be a nice fader. I'm still swinging some shorts overnight, so looking for more downside, especially on the daily. You can see we're probably gonna retest at least the low $1 first. If not, they could do an offering and who knows, but pretty nice play on this. Small sizes added up, especially on a day like today. EVOK, it's a second stock I played. This one I wasn't as convinced as SINT, just because SINT, I'm just more familiar with it. But EVOK, I was still short biased just because it had a run. Was it Friday after hours? It started running already. So usually when this scenario happens, Monday's the take profit day. So that's why, it really has to clear above $5 and start holding for me to be long biased on the stock. So you can see that's why, $5 is where I wanted to re-enter the short. I started, shorting some pre-market already, but I was all out by the time market opens, just because, I want to see how it reacts to $5. So when it spiked to $5 and rejects, that's where I added back in short. Shorted here, shorted some more, covered some, re-added some more here. But this is a really nice flush I wanted. I kind of wish we had that on SINT, but we didn't really. That stock just kind of held on later too. But I was out on my short, went back in again here and for a tiny scalp, and I just left it alone. So pretty clean trade, no headaches, but again, the volatility wasn't as strong as last week, to say the least. A few other smaller scalps, FRAN, stock I'm familiar with, scalped some short off the unhold, no volume, just picked up these small plays from my momentum scanner. The other one, same thing as BMRA, long time bag holder chart, scalped a few, left it alone before the big squeeze. So just small tiny winners, nothing big. Oh, but my loser on the day, I forgot to talk about it, sorry. SPCE, I ended up only losing about 5 cents, but at one point, they had some contract announced with NASA, which is really bullish news. But the thing with SPCE is that they always seem to sell off at the open whenever they gap up. So that's why, the intention was to wait for the sell-off and start seeing higher lows and join trend to go long and retest 18s. But, if it's couldn't hold VWAP or the higher lows, I want to get out because this stock has a history of selling off the entire gap. So it could have gapped down to, sold off to 1560s, and obviously I don't want that. So I was up for like 30 cents, didn't take it just because I wanted the bigger move. When that didn't happen, I just cut my losers and lost 5 cents. That's manageable, that's fine. But you can see the stock later reversed after selling off down to $16 and reversed. But there was just no way I was gonna keep on holding on to my loser. That's a big no-no in trading. But that's the loser on the day for me. Overall, pretty slow Monday. Hopefully things kind of pick up later on in the week. It's also a shortened week for me, so I just have to be extra nimble for for the trades I take and the sizing, and kind of just taking base hits here and there and be happy that it pays for my vacation, essentially. So not gonna swing for home runs this week. I'm just taking the base hits, and they definitely add up in trading. So today actually started off kind of slow at first because FFHL was a stock that I was looking to play early on pre-market. But as you can see, the stock, gapped up to about $8 pre-market, but really sold off to $7 and even down to $6 before the open. So I was bullish on the stock, also because I didn't have shares to short. But I was thinking, the low float stock, they have earnings news, it should at least get a secondary bounce. But the stock pre-market was so weak, you can see barely any bounces, and that's why I tried the small long here, starter size, didn't work, and just got out immediately. There was no way I was gonna hold it down to 580s. That's why you gotta follow your stops. But in hindsight, of course, it seems like they were just trapping shorts and having shorts piling on pre-market, and at the market open they squeezed it up from $7 all the way to $9. It struggled a little bit, but then they ultimately squeezed it to $10, $10.40 actually. So it's a low float stock. The news was good, sure, the earnings beat, but it doesn't really justify the stock to double. But it doesn't matter, right? We're in a market where the low float runners, they'll run first, exhaust all the buyers, and then have a parabolic sell off to the downside, right? So because parabolic way up, parabolic way down. Since I didn't have any shares to short, this would have been a very nice parabolic short setup, because $10, this $10.20 is a key daily resistance. That would have been a nice short, but since I didn't have any short, I scalped a few longs. I know not to outstay on the long side for the parabolic moves, but there's still definitely scalps to be made, just because we talked about this. Tons of shorts are trapped since pre-market. And and on the way up as well. The stock went from $7 to $10 without a pullback. Every single major pullback, the shorts are probably gonna cover, and that's a chance for me to scalp on the long side. So that's kind of what I did, but not exactly the best entries. But if you're fast enough with the hotkeys, and if you have a platform such as this one that's fast enough to execute, you can definitely get in and out. The other stock, that I was watching for a short was BRN. The idea is that I want to avoid everything here just because I feel like it's going to do the same thing as FFHL, which it did, trap shorts pre-market, squeeze it out to $2 and then reject. And that's why I started scaling around $2 short. Once we, started wicking around 205, 210s, that's why I know, $2, this area could be the risk and potentially the top. And that's what we got, and covered some into the flush 179s, but I always want to re-hit it because there's a lot of meat on the downside, right? Re-added shorts, covered some, re-added back. My best cover was down here. I tried to re-short. I was thinking we are gonna do this over here, but we just kept on, kind of grinding midday. So, and I wasn't gonna stay around all day to watch this fade for 20 cents. So I took it off, and the stock did eventually gap fill down to 120s. But I took the meat of the move, and that's enough for me. So those were the day trades that worked out really nice. I had some swing trade positions. So when I have swing trades, I like to take a small day trade on this day trading account, but I have a swing trading open with my other interactive brokers account. So INO, they actually had government contract news, and in the morning it looked really hopeless, right? When the stock gapped up to 17 and then broke down the $17 line and then faded to 16. At that point I was I really thought the stock was gonna go, but the fact that we sold off the gap was kind of disappointing. But we kept this on watch, and it just started reclaiming VWAP and started making a run. And during this consolidation stage, that's why I started a long on the day trade and also the long on my swing trade. I mainly wanted to swing trade this, and if you look at the daily chart, this is why I wanted to swing trade this. The stock just broke all-time highs, right? All-time high is $19. At the time when I took the entry, it was down here. So you can say it's in between the range from 17 to 18. right? In between this range. But the chart on the daily is bullish. The volume at the time was extremely high. The momentum intraday was really, really above average. And this is a stock that we've traded many times before. It has a history of gapping up. And that's why I wanted to swing trade this. I don't know if I'm going to sell tomorrow yet, depending on the price action. But I think we can get a few days move from this swing. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. I never had a swing trade position hit essentially my price target, the first price target, 30 minutes after I took the position. Like that's incredible. But I sold my day trade here. Why? Because daily resistance $20. After 1940 we can see 20s, and I mean this one is a day trade, so I'm gonna follow the plan for the day trade and take the profit on this. But swing trading, I'm still having the average about $18 here. So today is finally the day I get out of this quarantine hotel. Oh my god. So I've been stuck here 2 days. So I'll be out at exactly 12 o'clock, midnight here. So I'm so excited. So I had a few quick trades. I didn't think I was gonna get that much trade and that much action today, just because I kind of wanted to take the quick money and leave. But CTIB was setting up very nicely for a parabolic short on the daily. First of all, it kind of ramped up pre-market. You can see, it started ramping pre-market. I think it was dead for a while, and then started pushing towards 6, started shorting, covered some, and shorted the bounces. And in the morning, when it pops back towards the 6s, that's why adding in short and covering to the flush and re-adding. The reason I was more short biased is because of this day, right? If you look at this day from June 12th, so that's only 2 weeks ago, you see this giant red candle. I think the stock actually was at $12 actually pre-market, and sold off for the entire day. So today when you see the stock gapping up to $5, $50, $6, the people who are holding the bag are probably gonna want to get out, and they're not holding like Gucci bags or like LV bags. They're holding this third stock, and if I was holding a bag like that, I probably want to get out at $6, right? So that's why I was leaning short bias. Of course, I didn't hold all the way down just because I'm getting ready and packing up to leave. My best cover was around $4, but I had a core of my position around 6s and added on the way down. So I had about $5 average after all the ads, and pretty nice winner. There was not a lot of shorts available, even though I started early locating the shorts. There weren't that much, but still, small sizes, recycling the shares, they definitely do add up. The other stock that's really nice, NVAX. So this stock is one that I'm very familiar with. Again, I'm loaning the stock actually because look at the daily breakout. Pushing towards, this is not all-time highs. There's a daily gap actually. Like I can see it, but the stock was inside a daily gap, and the upside is I think $90 or $100. But the stock, immediately right at the open, it just starts pushing. And when that happens, I'm not gonna chase the stock. You have to wait for the pullback. $70 held. That was a key level I was watching. It held and started pushing right away with volume. So you want to wait for a pullback. And whenever we have a parabolic upside move like this, when the stock went from 70 all the way to 78 within, 15 minutes, it's bound to have a pullback. And your job as a trader is to be patient for that pullback. You don't want to chase up here at 77 thinking it's going to 80 after the stock already made the move from $70. No, you want to wait, you want to be patient. And this is a stock that I'm very familiar with, just like mRNA. So it's good to keep 1 or 2 stocks that you are familiar with the price action that you can always go to whenever they move. So regardless of what the news is, I recognize this price action is something that I've seen time again back on this day, that day. So that's why I was fairly confident, and that's why I wasn't scared to take a starter here before it even broke VWAP. And right after it broke down VWAP, a lot of people would be scared and stop out, but I know the stock, it likes to slowly reclaim VWAP from beneath it. So that's why, I added to full size here. I wish I had more ads here, but I didn't end up adding until all the way up here. But just because it didn't have that consolidation on here like I was looking for, but still pretty nice nonetheless. Locked in some, but was holding a majority for that $80 push. Once we broke above high of the day, 77.80s, that's where we touched 79. That's what I actually added on the pullback here, 78.40s. So very, very nice add. I'm very happy about it. Had very nice average. The first entries, nice average from 74.40s, and after this ad I had an average at about $77 and I sold into the push into $80. So I didn't want to outstay, but this stock does look like it's gonna grind up higher. The volume was really strong today, so was yesterday. You can see these candles, strong bullish daily candles. So I think we see more upside, but I'm done on this stock for the day. So I'm just very happy about the way I traded today. I took the meat of the move, and that leaves me plenty of time to pack. I still have about an hour or so. I'm one of those people who leave packing to the last minute, but that leaves me to about just a little bit over $2,000 on the day. I had a little bit unrealized from a few swing positions on this partial account, but I'm very happy to go out and finally see my family after being stuck in this hotel room for like 2 weeks. Feels so nice. To finally be able to get out and talk to a person in real life, and not just over Zoom and not just over phone calls. So I'm just very grateful and very happy today. So hopefully everyone's doing well. I won't be trading for the next week or so because I want to spend time with family, but hopefully everyone's staying safe, trading safe, make your plans and follow your plans, right? This is a perfect example of me just making a plan on the way up and not FOMOing my entry. Wait for your entry, plan out your trade, and execute. Leave the decision making out after you are in the trade, right? So because you made it already before you entered. Anyways, time to go back, and good luck everyone, and have a good rest of the trading week. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the bad jokes. If you want to see more day trading content, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. If you'd like to trade with me daily and get my free weekend watch list and trading journal, make sure to check out the links below for more resources. Stay green, stay positive, and I'll see you guys next time.